What is up, everybody? Welcome back to RacingDudes.com, and welcome back to probably one of the last Kentucky Derby videos from 2023 that we'll do on the site. We do this every year. Once it's over, we kind of talk about the trip notes. We talk about the, some horses to look out for next time, some horses that, got caught up in a pace or a lack of pace or whatever. So certainly no lack of pace this year as we look at this Kentucky Derby. So I'll take my banner off here. I'll put the replay, up on the screen. We'll kind of just look at it a few times together and kind of just see what we can see here. So, the first thing is we'll go here. This so you don't hear this. There we go. The first thing, let's look at Mage. I think that's the horse everybody wants to look at first. I'm going to rewind it since I screwed that up there. All right, so let's look at Mage. He's the 8 horse. All right, so we'll kind of see what he does here, and a horse that has had trouble breaking. And, we all kind of thought Mage could be really tough here if he gets kind of that trip that we think he could use that early speed and get position. It actually didn't happen like that at all. As you look here, he gets out of the gate and look, boom, gets crossed over right there. That is usually a death sentence in the Kentucky Derby. 9 times out of 10 it is. And you notice at this point right here, Tapatrice is actually ahead of Mage. But look at this, Mage right there, boom. He cuts over, he gets the position. That move right there, whether you want to credit Castellano, you want to credit the horse, that was a really nice move. He beats Tapatrice to spot number 1 there, and he gets a big time advantage from position as far as the back horses go. Now, of course, he's still got a ton of room to make up here. So he is kind of in his own little area. He's in his own little pocket. I'm sure he's taking kickback there, but he's not exactly in just a horrific spot for a closer. It's not a great spot. I'm at where my mouse is right here is where he's at, if you could see it. So he's cruising along here. He actually starts to lose a little bit of ground. Tapatrice, here he comes up here again to Mage, and it's, look, okay, they're even again. And there goes Tapatrice. He just starts to make a little bit of move with Mage, and then boom, Mage was on the outside of him. He hits a couple of holes, and then there goes Mage, and then Tapatrice is kind of back there behind him again. Still, though, it seems like, okay, we're in a good spot. We're in a holding spot with Mage. This is where he makes the other big move. He's starting to really rev up here. He's kind of going inside and weaving around a little bit. And this is where he makes that massive move here on the turn. Look at him just pick up horses right here on this outside. This is, at this point, it's very similar to the Florida Derby where he was just circling the field. And look at the jump he gets on Tapatrice. So here he comes. Notice, though, he saves no ground. He goes very wide. He's made a sustained run. He has every excuse right now to hit a wall. This horse has been wide. He made a sustained run, but look at him go. He makes no hitting the wall at all. And here you've got Two Fills. We'll look at him next. Just gets right by him. Just battle, gets by him. Two Fills has got a much cleaner trip than Mage, but he still couldn't hold him off. Boom, Mage hits the wire first. So that's kind of the trip of the winner. That's where you start. I am going to pause it a second because I really want to say a few things about this horse, Mage. First of all, shout out to Mike Somich for an incredible pick. I mean, incredible. But I will say, and this is not a slight on Somich at all, I think if you would have asked him, could he win with the trip he got? Probably not. Could he finish after he had made such a huge wide move around the turn? Could he finish well enough to win? Probably not. This horse ran an incredible race, all things considered. Now, I know that the pace set him up, and that really, really helped. Don't get me wrong. The pace did help him. But when you think about all the horses, that you see win the Derby, he had traffic. He was in like third from last. You think about Rich Strike last year, the pace really helped him, but he also got a clean inside trip. Somehow the seas just parted for him and he came up the rail. This horse didn't come up the rail. When I watched this back the first time, I was expecting to see him have a Rich Strike type of trip where he just kind of weaves in and out of traffic. And it's like, man, beautiful ride. He got some racing luck. No, he didn't get any of that. He just made a sustained wide move for almost 6 furlongs. And was still able to run by Two Fills in the stretch. I can't give him enough credit. He got a 105 buyer. I think it's like a 105 buyer plus when you think about the ground he lost and the trip he had. Hats off. This horse ran phenomenal. I just can't say so many good things about him. I don't know if he can replicate this. I don't, because I thought he ran fantastic in the Florida Derby. This was beyond fantastic, in my opinion. This was just one of the better performances we've seen when you consider how he had to do it. Now, again, we've seen more impressive races over the years. But man, this little horse, he just ran his eyeballs out. Can he do it again? I'm not sure. If he does, they ain't beating him. I'm sorry. All right, now let's look at Two Fills. He finished second. I thought he was fantastic in this race as well. So he breaks from the 3 hole. So we'll play it here real quick. So here's Two Fills. He's going to break from the 3 here. And the impressive thing with him is he's up on this very, very hot pace. So there goes Two Fills. He comes out of it. And you see, not a great break. He gets squeezed there by the 2 and the 4. He's a resilient little guy. He says, okay, I'm taking a lot more dirt, but look at this. They kind of motion him to the outside. Look at him using his early speed. You know, he did have the early speed to get that better position. Now he's okay. Now he's got one horse out there to his outside, but he's not worried about that. It's Jace's Road, and he's just going to stalk. And this is kind of the Kentucky Derby trip that wins a lot of years. And again, I'm not saying a closer can't win, obviously, the last 2 years, but kind of stalking the pace right here in the pocket, saving ground. Yes, though, I know the pace is extremely sharp, and he's right up on it. And that is surprising that he was able to hold on when everybody else kind of faded. But this is kind of where you see a lot of the Kentucky Derby horses placed, right here where he's at. I thought this was really important. He kind of got him, talking about Jareth Ludbury, he kind of got the horse to relax just a bit. You saw him kind of rank and tugging. And then here he's kind of a little bit more flowing and just relaxed. He's ready to go. And what he's going to do is just once the 2 and the 6 kind of start to fade, Kingsbarns and Verifying, he's just going to take over at the top of the stretch. So you're going to see him here. Reincarnate's going to make a little bit of a move with his outside before he flattens. You see Verifying's done. Kingsbarn says, okay, I'm taking over. He kind of looks like Messier last year. He takes over. He's like, all right, I'm on this hot pace. And then boom, you're done. So Two Fills here kind of range it up. And look at this. When you're watching this replay back, you're kind of angling back all the other horses. Mage, here he comes with his big move. But you're like, yeah, Two Fills, he's turning for home of the lead. He looks pretty damn good right here. And he still does. Even right here, I haven't really picked up Mage moving just as well as he was moving. But of course, here he comes with that big run of his, just striding right on by. And look at Two Fills, though. I thought right here he re-engaged. He's like, okay, there he is. I see him. I'm going to try to go get him again. He just didn't have enough left. But listen, what a performance. I mean, just a gutty performance. I really didn't think I'd leave this Kentucky Derby like gushing over any horse, but these two really ran well. Now let's look at the 3rd place horse, and then we'll kind of look at Angel of Empire and Disarm a little bit together here. We don't need to spend a ton of time. So Angel of Empire is the 14 horse. Here he is. Another one. He got out of the gate okay. Disarm is right here as well. They're just going to take back. You're going to watch Disarm kind of going to get a little bit cleaner as far as not being wide here early. Angel of Empire really shuffled back here. He's back here with Mage. He's back here with Tapit Trice. Some of these other horses. And you see Mage is just kind of going to be a little bit ahead of him here first turn. And so I thought Angel of Empire was in the spot you kind of thought he would be in. He's another one, just didn't have a lot of early speed. He's getting a pretty clean trip from the 14 hole for a closer. He's not got a lot of traffic yet. He wasn't floated, extremely wide. Up the backstretch, I should say. He's on the turn. He's right up there with Mage in a pretty good spot. He actually is ahead of him now. He's starting to look like he's in a real good spot, just kind of steadily, slowly kind of advancing, kind of just naturally passing, some tired horses. But he does start to get into a little trouble here. A horse starts to back up real quick on him. He had to have a little bit of a check. He's kind of buried inside of 4 or 5 horses are kind of circled around him. So not ideal for him. He's still moving very well, though. He's in a pretty good spot. And again, he is saving ground, and that was really important with him. So you pick him up here. Now you see on the trees hurt it, but Mage passes him. Right there, Mage, here he comes on the outside. He's going to go right by him. And I think Flavian saw that and said, okay, I'm going to follow him. So Mage gets the jump on him, but Flavian saved the ground until he tipped him out. So he's going to follow Mage here. And at this point, as an Angel Empire kind of fan, I was like, all right, he's coming with a little bit of a run. And you can see there's nothing wrong with what he did here, guys. He's picking it up. He's running as hard as he can. He just can't get to this little horse Mage. And again, I'm just gushing over this little guy. But boy, he's gutty, and look, Angel's still trying, man. He's picking him up. gosh, I thought he had a really good trip. He did, steady for a minute or two there, but for a second or two, I should say, but really nothing to say, it was bad or anything. He just got outrun by Mage, and then Two Fills was able to hold him off late in that race to hold on for second. So that's kind of the top three. We'll watch it one more time just for kind of an overall view of things. The most surprising thing was the pace, really fast. We felt as it was getting closer to the race that it would speed up a little bit with horses drawn to the inside. It got really fast. And I think Verifying, here breaking from the rail, he said, all right, I got to go. We kind of speculated that would happen. I was really surprised they asked Kingsbarns to go up so early and get right involved with that. I thought he would sit a little bit behind. I think they just said, okay, we're going to send him. We're going to try to get aggressive. Of course, Reincarnate, we kind of knew would be up there. Jace's Road, just not good enough. And then Cyclone Mischief, another one we thought would be up there. Something was off with him. He just never did much running whatsoever. But, those three up there, Kingsbarns and Verifying and Reincarnate, they went fast enough to kind of set it up for everybody coming from off of it. And ultimately probably cost Two Fills the race, because you see again with Two Fills, here he is kind of at times he was chasing him. He wanted to go. And again, I thought Loveberry did a good job. He was able to calm him down. It's not easy to calm a horse down that wants to go up and chase. And then if you do try to strangle him, maybe they kind of stop on you. So as you see there, 45.73 for the half. They're really flying. And if you're a Verifying Kingsbarns, Reincarnate fan, they're screwed at this point. So there's not a whole lot you could really take from it. You're like, oh, they're in a lot of trouble. So, and like I said, Verifying drops anchor, Kingsbarn quickly after as well. So, it's just one of those things that I did not see a pace coming that fast, and it just happened. By the way, I'm not going to review Tapit Trice's trip because we kind of talked about it earlier, but I saw Somich on the Magic Mike show, and he said it best. He said Mage beat him to every hole, and that's exactly what happened. Tapit Trice just kind of followed Mage, and he didn't have it down the stretch. And you can't really see him on the screen. He's running a little greenly here or there. He'll bounce back. He just it wasn't his day. He just didn't have the trip and wasn't nimble enough to kind of do what Mage did. So there it is. One more time, Mage wins the Kentucky Derby there. Again, really did not think I would come away going, good Lord, that was a great performance. But I do come away saying, wow, that was really something. I hats off to Mage, hats off to his connections. That was a fantastic effort. All right, that's it. That's a bow on a Kentucky Derby 149. Trip notes there for the top 3 or 4 finishers and some other interesting tidbits as well. All right, guys, thanks everybody for watching the video. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit subscribe if you really liked it. And most importantly, on to the Preakness, on to Baltimore.
RacingDudes.com is your home for the best free picks for every race, every track across the country. The Triple Crown is in full swing, and we want you to join us in the fun. Subscribe to Racing Dudes YouTube channel, click the notification bell so you never miss a single video. Want to make money betting horses? Bet with the Racing Dudes.